Hi friends, it's time to go over some math word problems. These word problems come from my teacher page and they are the math response for the week. So let's get started. I baked 36 cupcakes. I gave Mrs. Forts 18 of them. How many cupcakes do I have left? All right, so I see two numbers, 36 and 18. That tells me I'm going to have a one step, or I'm going to need to do one thing to solve this problem. And now I'm going to go back and read each sentence and think about what's happening in the story. I baked 36 cupcakes. All right, so I did some baking and there's 36 cupcakes. I gave Mrs. Forts 18 of them. So if I had 36 cupcakes that I baked and I gave 18 of them to Mrs. Forts, am I getting more cupcakes or am I going to have less cupcakes? And the question asks, how many cupcakes do I have left? So if I started with the 36 cupcakes and I gave 18 of them to Mrs. Forts, that means they're gone, which means I am adding or subtracting. I would be subtracting because I'd be taking them away. Very good. And they want to know how many I have left. So when I do subtraction, now that that's what we've decided, I have to start with my bigger number, 36, and I need to take away my 18. I need to find the difference between these two numbers. So again, we're going to use two strategies. We're going to use base 10 blocks and we're going to use a number line. I'd love for you to try on your own first and then come back and check. Go get your notebook or paper and pencil and give it a try. You've got this. I'm going to start with my base 10 block strategy. So I have 36 minus 18. Here is 30, 10, 20, 30. Here is 6, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. And I want to take away 18. So when I look at my 6 cubes here, and I realize I'm taking away 8 cubes, I can see that I need to regroup. Because 6 is not big enough to take 8 away. If this number is bigger than this number, I have to regroup. Regrouping in subtraction means I have to take a rod, and I'm going to trade it in for 10 cubes. That will give me the cubes that I need. After I do my base 10 block strategy, I'm going to move over to my number line strategy. And I circled my 36 and put it at the bottom of my line, and I put it on the right side because subtraction means I'm jumping backwards. On top of my 18, and you can do it on the bottom too, I have one rod, which means I'll need one big jump, and I have 8 cubes, which means I'll need 8 small hops. Now, I might need to make my line a little longer, and that's okay. If you didn't get yours started yet, that's a really good start. I gave you some hints and showed you what to do, and I'd love for you to try on your own. If you already did it, let's check. So here we have both strategies, and both strategies ended up with the answer 18. Now, because a lot of moms, dads, aunties, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, big cousin maybe neighbor, whoever helps you with your homework, because they're not always familiar with base 10 and number line strategies, I'll also show using a standard algorithm or just a regular equation, which will look like this: 36 minus 18. Now I'm going to use this picture to help us know what's going on here. So I like to cut it in half just so that I can keep my ones placed together and my tens placed together. And now we talked about how I have 8 here. It's on the bottom, it's bigger, and I'm trying to take it away from 6. Well, if you remember, we couldn't do that. So what I did over here in my base 10 blocks is I took one of my rods away. So I didn't have 3 rods anymore. Now I only had these 2 rods. So I had 2 in the tens place, which would be 20. And instead of having just these 6 cubes, I had 6 plus I added 10 more, and now it's become the number 16. So then I was able to take 8 away from the 16, and I ended up with 8. And I was able to take 1 rod away from the 2 that I had, and I ended up with 1. So base 10 blocks is a very good picture to show our brain what's happening and why we're crossing out numbers and writing new ones. We just have to remember that it has to be a fair trade. I hope you tried your best. I know you can do it, and I'm very proud of you. Go on to Clever, check my teacher page, and go ahead and find the next story problem for you to work on. Try it on your own, and then come check with me.